This episode of KSTV is brought to you by Gem Creative, custom designs, printing, web designs, SEO, and more.
Hello everybody, I'm Kevin.
And I'm Piotr.
And we are here for the Kev and
the Rev Show.
The Rev Show, that's us. So welcome. Now you may not know, most of you may do, we do have a municipal election coming up here in Kindersley.
We do, ever so often.
Yeah, every 4 years I believe. November the 13th is this one. And they're looking for 6 councillors and 1 mayor.
And we do have more than one candidate for all the positions. We do have more than enough, I believe.
We do. We have 8 candidates for the councillor's position, and 2 going for mayor. So that's good.
Now, why the heck would anybody want to do that?
Well, you know, why does anybody get into politics, right? It's I think a desire to think you can make a difference, to serve your community, and I think that's a noble reason to do it.
Yeah.
Certainly not for the money. You know, at least not.
There's money in it?
Well, apparently a little bit.
I should have put my
You should have put your name in the hat. Too late now. However, so on Wednesday, October the 30th, is going to be a candidates forum at the Norm Ritchie Centre from 7 till 9. So we'd like everybody to come out and visit with the candidates and see what they have to say. And if you have questions of them, that's a great time to find out.
And I like to think of opportunity like this, and in municipal election, in a small version of any concept of broader election, provincial, federal.
Right.
And I always think of the countries and cultures where voting is either skewed or we know it is done, in a shady, not illegal, but underhanded way, when basically, elections are done wrongly, and we have privilege to participate in electing people who will in some way govern how we exist as a community of Kindersley. We have a chance to ask them questions. We have an opportunity to, I like the word, to form a government.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's up to all of us, like I say, as a civic duty to elect said people into their positions. So on one hand, you can say, well, I didn't vote for that person, so I'm going to complain. Or you can say, well, I did vote for that person, so I'm going to complain more. What do you do, right?
I think whether you end up happy or not happy, you have to vote.
Yes,
I do
absolutely.
believe for us living in Canada, no matter which level of governance we're electing, I think it's our civic duty to vote.
Yes.
It's not just privilege and I can, but depend how I feel that day.
Yes.
No, you have to.
And it's funny, I was reading about voting in Australia, and voting is mandatory in Australia. If not, you get fined.
Seriously?
Seriously. Somebody told me that, and I said, no, you're wrong. And I went and checked it out, and it is a fact. Voting in Australia is mandatory. Nice. So, put that in your pipe and smoke it. I'll tell you.
After one of these sessions, I'm going to start keeping a journal of those expressions you use. I don't understand.
That's okay. I don't understand them either.
I'll write them all down. I'll memorize them, and then Bob's your uncle.
See, there you go. And speaking of that, again, get out and vote, and come on down to Norm Ritchie Centre on Wednesday, October the 30th.
See you then.
Events sponsored by Royal Flush, the company for septic services.
The Breast Cancer Mobile Mammography Bus is coming to Kindersley from November 4th to the 15th. Located at the West Central Events Centre parking lot, women 50 years of age and older can book an appointment by calling 1-855-584-8228 to book an appointment. Appointments are limited, so be sure to call today. Hey, did you hear? The Trip of the Month Lotto is back and tickets are on sale. These are the perfect gifts for your friends or family at Christmas or as an employee incentive. Or you could even buy 1 or 2 tickets for yourself, all while supporting a great cause. This year there'll be 12 draws in total, beginning in January and ending in December 2025. All proceeds from the tickets will go towards Pathway to Wellness, Kindersley Cardiac Rehab Center, and the Wellness Education and Programming Organization. Best of luck! Looking for a night out filled with dinner and dance? Well, look no further than the Brango Tango presented by the Kindersley Royal Purple. Held at the Kindersley Inn Ballroom, cocktails begin at 5:30, dinner at 6, and dancing at 9. Proceeds from the event go to the Saskatchewan Brain Injury Association, Food Bank, and Women's Shelter. Welcome back. Hi, Peter.
Hello.
How are you?
Hi, Kevin. I'm doing really well. And yourself?
I'm doing great for this whatever day it is today.
It's a cold day.
It is a cold day. I want winter to go away. I'm not happy with it.
It will get colder. It will get colder. And 31 years ago, a promise of much colder winter was what sent one of us, when we came to Canada, 14 of us, back home. We were immigrants, and we were told minus 30 is not cold, minus 50 will be cold. So one guy asked for a ticket home.
I can understand that.
I don't.
I've experienced both, and minus 50 is okay without the wind.
Yes. Yes. Though, still, no matter how cold it gets,
Yes,
you can always put on another sweater.
true. And I'm sorry to stop you there, but people coming to live in Canada from maybe warmer countries, it's a big shock for them.
Yes. Yes, I remember studies in Ottawa, and came a theologian from Africa,
Okay.
and I still remember his first ever experience of snow.
Okay.
Yeah.
And was it good or bad or bewilderment?
I still remember his first experience of snow.
Enough said on that one. I think for most anybody coming from a warmer climate, it is a bit of a tough adjustment, at least the first time.
I think overall, if you're an immigrant in Canada, you experience a form of culture shock.
True.
Be it the way Canadians are, depending which province you go to, whether it's a smaller town, a large metropolis.
But in the end, are we really not all immigrants? I think, didn't all of our forefathers come from other countries?
I think so. I mean, unless you are a 100% First Nation person, sooner or later, your relatives, you came from somewhere else.
Sure.
Makes me think of that quote by John Cusack. He played a role in a kind of catastrophic movie.
Right.
And then his character wrote a book where he said, "We all have relatives in Wisconsin."
Okay.
Kind of pointing out that this is a small world.
Yes.
And we are all related, even though sooner or later we do come from somewhere else.
Interesting. Because you're from...
I'm Polish.
Polish. My relatives came from the Ukraine and Russia and England, actually. So there you go.
Now, what does that do to your cooking?
It means I order out a lot. There you go. Hello.
Because, overcooked English beef with Russian caviar?
Not a great mixture.
No,
it's not.
I would not recommend it.
No, but you know what? There are a lot of great recipes that some of the immigrants can teach us.
Oh, yes.
So their home countries have some really good
Well,
stuff.
remember when we talked about a Filipino food festival?
Yes.
That was phenomenal.
It was great. And they're all immigrants, and they're having a great time here. They're
I
happy
think-
with what they have here.
I mean, I think Canada is built on immigration.
Oh, I
It's
would say
built
you're
on
right.
people who came from somewhere else
Yeah.
in search of and with hope for a better life.
And our forefathers were a pretty hardy bunch to go through what they did compared to what we have today for technology and everything.
Well, even with all the warmth in the cars and double layered parkas, we still complain. What did they have? A horse and buggy?
And a
Maybe
blanket. And a blanket.
and a blanket?
Yeah, and made fire.
Try survive that in minus 50.
I think we're done. Until next time.
Stay warm.
Yes.
Local news sponsored by Mid-Plains Diesel.
With the municipal election coming up on November 13th, 2024, here's what you need to know about who can vote. To be eligible, you must be at least 18 years old on election day, a Canadian citizen, and have lived in Saskatchewan for at least 6 consecutive months before the election day. Plus, you'll have to either have lived in the town of Kindersley or own accessible land here for at least 3 consecutive months. Make sure that you're ready to cast your vote. Well, it's that time of year again when we start thinking about presents and bonuses. And the shopkindersley.ca gift card is the perfect gift for all three of those occasions. Available in amounts of $10, $25, and $50, they can be purchased from the Chamber of Commerce office, Merlin Electronics, and Speedy Glass. We thank everyone who purchases these cards for helping out our local businesses. It's coming up to the time of year where everyone likes to give back, and Food Mesh Kindersley is doing just that. From now until December 13th, they are collecting baby care items for their first ever It Takes a Village Christmas Baby Care Drive to help families in need before the holidays. Are you looking to donate? Items such as diapers, wipes, powdered formula, baby food, soothers, and bottles are needed. At this time, they are not accepting any clothing items. If you are in need of a baby care package, please email kindersleyfoodmesh@gmail.com. For more information, head over to kindersleysocial.ca or visit Food Mesh's Facebook page. Well, hello, it's us again. I'm Kevin.
I'm Piotr.
And we are the Kevin and the
Rev
Show. Yeah, we're here
Welcome.
for your viewing and your listening enjoyment. I've got to ask you, Peter. Now, this may seem like a silly question for me asking you in your profession, so to speak.
Okay.
Is there a time of the day where you feel that you're most productive? Like, say if you're writing a sermon, would you feel more productive in the morning having breakfast, or in the afternoon, or in the evening? What's your window of productivity like?
So for that particular task, which you named the sermon, the work itself starts the Sunday before, when I take a look at what is the theme, what is the reading. Then it percolates throughout the week. I will read an article, I will meditate, I will pray. Something will pop when I visit people over coffee, and it somewhat clicks. But the most productive time for that type of work for me is it starts at 8 in the evening.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's good until 11:30, sometimes midnight.
Oh, okay. You're more of a
I
night owl.
prefer, if nobody expects anything from me, until 10 in the morning.
Okay.
I mean, I get up at 8, I wake up at 9:30.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. So you're more of a night owl kind of guy.
Very much so.
I see.
Always
Okay.
have been.
And I'm the opposite. I've always been a really early morning riser, thanks to my father, who was a Safeway store manager. He would take me to his store on a Saturday morning. I'd be there all day, hanging around the store and playing and whatnot. So I just learned to be an early riser at an early age.
So you're on a Chamber of Commerce.
I am.
So you deal with various employees, employers, businesses.
Yes.
How do you imagine personal preference or personal best productivity time would play with different businesses?
Well, I have learned that the mornings for me are better. Lunchtime can be okay. It depends on who I want to go see, because sometimes those people take their actual lunch hour and go home or wherever they go. In the afternoon, sometimes they're winding down for the day and dealing with other things. So I can visit people in the afternoon, obviously, and I do. I just have to kind of pick and choose who I go see, because I've known after the past 5 years, I kind of know their patterns and whatnot. But I find for me the mornings, I get in the office about 7:30, 7:45, and I can go to about 11:30, and then I start, doing my
Because I was thinking of the article I saw, I think you saw it too, about a model of work where companies diversify how they work with employees. It's called, I think, window working.
That sounds correct, yes.
When you have time when the whole company gets together to network, to vision, to talk what needs to be done.
Right.
And then everybody gets to do what they need to do at the best time when they're most productive.
Right, and that makes sense.
Well, some of those jobs would do. Like if you're a writer and if you don't need to hang out with people, if you write an article,
Yeah.
you can do it whenever.
Absolutely.
But if you're a front desk person, customer relation person, kind of difficult to do it in the evening.
You've got to be on point all the time, though,
But
if that's the case.
yeah, let's say somebody works for a company dealing with bicycles
Okay.
or small engines for snowblowers and
Gotcha. Rototillers, anything. snowmobiles.
rototillers, lawnmowers.
Ron, okay.
And say that person is a night owl. Do you need to see people beyond what's wrong with it this time?
Okay.
Do they need to see people, or can such a person be in the back of the shop and work, say, from 9 in the evening till 3 o'clock at night, if that's when they're productive?
That would be probably most beneficial for them.
Because I would imagine some companies, in the end, what would matter? I mean, because the principle of business is making money, I think.
It's one of the better
Community,
side effects.
delivery, but I mean, you open a business to make a living.
Yes.
Okay, so if the employees deliver what needs to be delivered, when it needs to be delivered, to what extent would it matter when and how it's prepared?
Good question. I don't think it really does matter, as long as it's done right and on time. Kind of like FedEx or one of those overnight delivery services.
Yeah.
You know, it's a great business model. They don't think they thought it would fly, pardon the pun.
Well, the advantage of working at night
Yes.
is you don't have to talk to anybody.
Not usually, no.
And the biggest pits for working at night,
Yeah.
you have nobody to talk to,
So you're your own best friend.
pretty much. And then you can have interesting conversations.
I think that was an interesting topic today. If you have any other subjects you'd like us to talk about, please write in. Let us know on our Facebook page. The Kevin
There's
and
no
Rev
such
Show.
thing as silly questions.
Only the ones you don't ask.
Sports, sponsored by the Tint Doctor. We've got you covered.
Hey curlers, get ready for a weekend filled with curling, camaraderie, and competition in the Kickoff Bonspiel. Held on November 15th and 16th, this event is open to all skill levels with 3 games guaranteed, prizes, and dinner each night. So whether you're a seasoned pro or new to the sport, don't miss out on this fantastic opportunity to connect with fellow curlers and kick off the season in style by wearing your favorite football jersey. Register by November 11th. See you on the ice. The SJHL and the MJHL have joined forces to present the Western All-Star Challenge. This pivotal event serves as a pre-selection camp for the prestigious World Junior A Challenge and Team Canada West, offering a platform for young talents to showcase their skills and potentially launch their careers. Set to take place from November 4th to the 6th, 2024 in Warman, Saskatchewan, it'll be a highly competitive pre-selection camp. It will determine at least 20 Team Canada West training camp spots. This challenge will host the top U19 players from Western Canada vying for the opportunity to represent Canada at the World Junior A Challenge in December. The World Junior A Challenge is an annual event held by Hockey Canada that features some of the top national teams and players from around the world who maintain eligibility for NCAA scholarships. Stay tuned for more information after the event. Have you registered you're a U9 player for the Elrose Female Festival on November 2nd and 3rd, 2024? Female festivals are grassroots hockey camps for U9 and U11 aged girls. This is the first step in Hockey Saskatchewan's female development progression, aligning with Hockey Canada's long-term player development model. Over the 2 days, each participant will receive 3 on-ice sessions at 45 minutes each per day, and a female festival jersey and a female festival t-shirt. To register, visit hockeysask.ca. And we are here again. Hi, Peter.
Hello, Kevin.
It is that time. Sit back, buckle up,
Make yourself a cup of coffee.
at least one, and a piece of chocolate cake.
With whipped cream and cherries on top. Sorry.
Okay,
Yes,
well-
I'm back here.
That's okay, we're good. I want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
If you were to write a book, would you have a book company publish it for you? I know it's an odd question. Or would you just choose to have it done yourself?
So I happen to be privileged to know a few Canadian writers.
Okay.
And I know what a journey and stress it is to go to the publishers. I don't think I write or would write well enough for any publisher to be interested. But I think what I would go is my first step would be seeing if I can have enough money to self-publish, 500 copies, maybe 1,000 copies, try and sell them, give them away to make my name known,
Yeah.
believing I have something to say.
And would you write everything yourself? Would you hire a ghostwriter? What would you do?
I would write it myself and then beg my literary friends to be my, unofficial editors for a promise of a dinner out or something.
Okay, and I asked this question because I was reading a story about Taylor Swift.
She published a book.
She did. And
Memoirs.
She did, yes. And she's one of the biggest, most recognizable names in the world right now.
So I understand.
So I thought, well, let's talk about her today. So it is unusual to kind of self-publish, but again, she's got the financial backing to do it.
I think what it would allow her, and I don't know the details, but I think self-publishing, being a person she is, having the financial resources, enables her to publish with much less either need or fear of some either literary or style scrutiny.
Okay. And she has total control over what happens then.
Yes.
She doesn't have to have any of her profits siphoned away by the book companies.
And from what I understand, she is extremely generous with her money in terms of charities and organizations. So, and as much as I don't know what she decides to do with the profits, it would not surprise me if the book came up with some kind of sticker that proceeds or X amount or entire goes to this or that good cause.
Good point. Very good point. Again, she's so well known, though, that I guess she's one of the few people in the world who can afford to do that.
Are you going to read it when it comes out?
I just might. I don't know. I've watched her special on Netflix. Okay. I'm not technically a fan of her music. I'm still locked in the 70s, but that's okay. But I can see where the attraction is for the younger crowd. So would they read the book? I don't know. That's a good question. How many kids read something like that nowadays?
You know, when you realize what pull she seemed to have with her fan base, okay, when we hear how responsive they are to things she says, to values she proposes, I am pretty sure, I'm convinced, that when the book comes out, because it's Taylor Swift's autobiography, or autobiography, and because it comes self-published, therefore it won't be, so-and-so wrote it. She wrote it.
Right.
I actually anticipate her base, even though we might say, do kids read nowadays? How much? I do envision the book flying off the shelves. I actually do.
Well, she has the fame and the star power, so to speak, and the worldwide recognition.
Yes.
It's not just a printed copy. You can probably stream it online or read it online.
Okay.
There might even be an audio book. So again, it's not just actual reading, so kids can get that information other ways too.
So I will admit her music isn't my thing, but when there was this big hullabaloo about her latest album and whatever values she was supposedly pitching, I've actually took time to read the lyrics, and I thought she does have something to say about experience of human life, about compassion.
And from what I understand about watching her special, she does write all her own music.
Yes.
So,
music.
Her music, yeah. Interesting. So she's quite an accomplished person.
Yep.
Absolutely. So who would you like to see us talk about next? I mean, our audience, they might want to have somebody. Maybe we'll have to have a special guest in here one time, sit between us.
Musician.
We'll try to find one. Until then.
See you later.
Hi everyone, be sure to grab a free copy of our bi-weekly print issue in over 50 locations across Kinnersley. Also included in our magazine is the free Kinnersley Social Extra, where we publish things like community events for nonprofits and obituaries for free. If you would like to be featured in our magazine or have something advertised, please email hello@kinnersleysocial.ca.